Give me your angle on first half under in Raptors Knicks.
Yeah, everything in this game just screams under. The full game is only 216.5, and I'm looking at the first half here for a couple different reasons. Let's start with the Knicks. They're on a back-to-back. They just got done playing. Speaking of laying the wood, they were supposed to take care of Detroit. Detroit tried to get the last win in the month in November and came close, lost by 6, but that number was 14.5, and it was never that if you had a plus 14.5 ticket in your pocket, you felt pretty good the whole way there. But they're on a back-to-back, the Knicks, 1-3 against the spread this year on a back-to-back, and 1-3 to the under on a back-to-back. Slow starting Knicks team throughout the entire season. 4-13 to the under in the first quarter, 7-10 to the under in the first half. Last 10 games for the Knicks have been an absolute snail's pace. Only 95 offensive possessions for the game in 48 minutes. That's dead last in the NBA. And the first thing that Tom Thibodeau brought up after the Knicks game today at the Garden was defense. It wasn't good enough against a really bad Pistons team. Thibodeau and this squad specifically, they don't tend to have two bad games in the same phase. So if Jalen Brunson shoots it poorly, he usually bounces back, gets back within the offense, shoots it well. If they don't play defense or Thibodeau wants to key in on that, they usually bounce back in that specific phase. And I think this is also just a tough matchup for both squads. Let's get into Toronto here a little bit. 3 straight games to the under. This will be their third game in 4 days, the Raptors. They had 4 out of 5 on the road. They got back home, had a day off, or played the Suns, then now they had a day off, and now they're playing the Knicks here. I expect the legs to get tired. Not in the first half, though. They'll be locked in on D in that first 24 minutes, and then maybe the legs start to get a little heavy and the defense goes first. Hopefully that happens in the second half. One last key point here that I really liked. Raptors only allowing 21.4 points to point guards. That's 5th best in the NBA. If you slow down Jalen Brunson, this offense will slow. Quickly is also a PG that's going to handle the rock a lot, and he's a big offensive spark for these guys. I like the first half, under 109.5 Knicks Raptors.
It's good. That's a good cap. That's a good handicap. I've got this projected at 211 on the total on the under. I can't go with you because I bet the Knicks Pistons under, which I was like cruising first half, and I was like, ha, what an easy one. And then the fucking Knicks gave up 70 points between the second and third quarters to the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
I was on with Danny LaRue over on Real GM Radio. You can check out the podcast, doing our Tiers podcast. And I was talking about the Knicks, and I was like, one of the problems is the Knicks have like these really good net ratings on offense and defense, or good ratings on offense and defense. The problem is like they don't do it in the same game. Like they'll have games where it's like, oh man, lockdown defense, what a grind it out. They offense wasn't there, but they found a way with the defense. And then like the next game, it's like, oh, they put up 130, didn't get any stops, but they were able to put up enough. That inconsistency makes me really nervous as a totals better. But I will say this. One thing about Toronto, especially when you play them in Toronto, is last year Michael Malone compared playing the Thunder to a root canal. If the Thunder last year were a root canal, playing the Raptors this year is a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Because they are absolutely up your ass. And it is a pain, and I hate watching the Raptors, and I wish to God they would break this team up, but they will drag this game into hell because it's really the only way for them to win. So, I think the under, it's under or nothing, like the under first half play. I like the cap on, they'll lock in and play harder defense in the first half, and then maybe the legs get to them, and the Raptors can run them out with transition defense, transition plays. I like that quite a bit.